Hey everyone, Alex back again with another video. This time we're doing, I think, the third installment now to the What's Been Spinning series here on my channel. So for those of you that aren't aware or can't tell from the title, this is where I go through my collection, listen to albums in full, share them with you. Now this could be whether I've been listening to them through means of vinyl, whether it means I've been streaming them, but this is just a way for me to go through my collection, really, because normally when I'm out and about, I just play a few tracks, and even at home, I'll put a few tracks on and not listen to an album in its entirety. So, yeah, this is just a really fun way for me to kind of re-familiar myself with the collection. So yeah, this is the third installment. I believe there might be some repeats from previous videos, but I've tried to make sure that there isn't. I think there might be one that we've seen before, but I do believe all the rest are new to this series. So let's crack on, because we've got a few to get through. Nice big reasonable size stack here. So we'll kick things off with After Hours by The Weeknd. Still my favourite project from them. I really did enjoy this album when it came out all the way back in 2020. Yeah, solid album from them. Canadian band, Canadian main vocalist, I guess, and then he just has a backing band when he's on tour and things, but Canadian artist nonetheless. Really enjoy their stuff. This is my favourite project from him, even now. I really enjoy this one. Which is, yeah, a lot of fun. I think I still go back and listen to this, and I still have nostalgia from the first time I heard the album, and it just fills me with joy. And yeah, really do like this one. Hadn't listened to it in a while. Just a few, like I said, a few tracks that I played off this one here and there. Mainly the hits, Blinding Lights, In Your Eyes, Save Your Tears, other and Heartless are the singles off of this, but the album in full is really good. So felt like I had to give that one another listen, a revisit. Really paid off. Enjoyed listening to that one. Eagles Greatest Hits Volume 2. This is out of the Eagles Greatest Hits box set that I have. It's just Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Eagles Greatest Hits, but really enjoy these greatest hits. It's fun to just every now and again just pull out greatest hits and play that, because sometimes even if you've got all the albums, sometimes you just don't want to just listen to a certain album. You just want to hear all the hits, and instead of flicking through all the individual albums, you play it. Or in case of the Eagles, I may not want all of their albums, but I want all their hits in one place, so it's fun to have that in one place. A hip hop album here. Some of you may or may not love hip hop, but me personally, I love hip hop. It's one of my go-to genres. This is Lab Cabin California by The Far Side, a gift sent to me kindly by my buddy Tim from High Noon's Vinyl. Really cool album. One of my favorite hip hop albums of all time. Personally, I'd probably put this in my top 10. Just a shame you can't really read the track listing on the back. They haven't really chosen the best colour coordination, the dark blue with the red. You got to look really carefully, but Running is my favourite track on here. It's the first track I heard from them, which got me into the group. I know they've only really done 2 albums, but still really good. Yeah, this is one of my favourite hip-hop albums of all time, so really happy I had to grab that and spin it again. Another one from 2020 that I believe that did make my top 10, and after re-listening to it, revisiting it, it probably still would. This is Dua Lipa with Future Nostalgia. Now she does have a new album coming out in a couple weeks from when I'm filming this, or I think it's next week from when I'm filming this. But I'm not that big a fan of the singles I've heard so far. I think out of the 3 singles she's released, I really like one of them, and the others I don't really care for. This album I loved straight up. This and her first album I loved straight away from the singles that she put out. I'm not liking her new stuff all that much, but this one, yeah, really enjoyed it. Obviously, the singles Don't Start Now, Levitating, Love Again, Physical, Break My Heart. This is still, in my opinion, one of the most 80s sounding albums that's come out in the past, like, in the 2020s so far, maybe even in the past 10 years, I don't know, but definitely one of my favorites still from her, or my favorite from her, I guess. Just really good stuff. Uh, it was so fun to revisit that one. Another hip hop album here that I've revisited. This is Redman. There Is a Dark Side. The infamous cover that copies Maggot Brain by Funkadelic. Really fun album here by Redman. Not my favourite personally, but the only album by him that I do own, and I was just in the mood to listen to Redman, so I had to pull this one, and yeah, it just reminded me how much I enjoyed this album. What is the track on here that... Oh, Can't Wait is the track on here I really like the most on here. Yeah. Good album by Redman. Definitely one that needs to be revisited if you're a Redman fan and you're not too familiar with this album, other than its cover with him copying, as I said, with him copying Maggot Brain. But yeah, good album. Don't worry, there won't be too much hip hop in this video, I promise. We are gonna do a bit of genre jumping now. In the case of going to a bit of soul, here's Imagination with In the Heat of the Night, the album that has Just an Illusion on it, which was a big hit for them, and Music and Lights, which is maybe my favourite track by them. Just, yeah, really good album by them. I do think it's their second album, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, really good stuff, again, by Imagination. Up next we have the Shrek soundtrack. This is I really hope they put the second one out on vinyl, because the second one, I mention it to my friend, a friend of mine all the time. He is a regular customer at my work, comes in all the time. We talk about the Shrek soundtracks every time one of the songs comes on. I've said I prefer the first film, but the soundtrack I prefer the second film. So I really hope they put that one out on vinyl, but this still has some really good stuff. I mean, obviously the Smash Mouth cover of I'm a Believer. You've got a cover on here of Bad Reputation. There's All Star by Smash Mouth. There's the Rufus Wainwright cover of Hallelujah. I'm on My Way by the Proclaimers. It's got the original score from the Shrek film on here, only the track True Love's First Kiss, which is like the main one, but really good soundtrack. I forgot how good this whole soundtrack was until I went back and revisited it. So yeah, really good one to have if you're a fan of DreamWorks or Shrek in general. I do think the soundtrack is quite expensive now, if I'm not mistaken, but like I said, I really hope they put the second one out very soon. Jimi Hendrix Experience. Are you experienced? Just, again, one I was in the mood for. And the only Hendrix album I now own in my collection, because I picked my favourite when I purged my collection last year. This one obviously has Purple Haze, Hey Joe, Foxy Ladies on here, Manic Depression. Just a really solid album from him. And Noel Redding, who's a member of The Experience. I believe that's this guy from memory. Where is it, this one? I can never remember which one of the two guys it is, but he's from my hometown, so that's always an interesting fact there for you. Bit of jazz. This is Soul Station by Hank Mobley, one of my favourite jazz albums. Haven't spun it in a minute, so decided to pull that one and give it a spin. Still really love it. The lineup is really good as well. You've got Winston Kelly on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Art Blakey on drums, as well as obviously Hank himself on the tenor sax. Really good album there. Talking Heads, this is Fear of Music. I saw Brandon from Mr. Hall of Fame showed this in a video. I believe it was also his recent spins or what's been spinning, and he spun this, and I was like, I've not listened to that album in a while, so I'm going to listen to it. And yeah, just really good. I also, correct me if I'm wrong, the last album Talking Heads did that was produced by Brian Eno. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, really good album by them. Talking Heads is one of them bands where everyone's got their favourite album by them. I think every album sounds different, which is why people have their favourite by them. That may not be a favourite of mine, but it's definitely up there in my top like 3, 4, 3. Really fun. Level 42, World Machine, their album from 1985. This is the track that has Something About You on it, which was a really big hit for them. And then I followed that up with Level 42's Running in the Family, which outside of the title track also has Lessons in Love on it, which was another really big hit for them. So yeah, 2 Level 42 albums back to back. I don't know what put me in a Level 42 mood, but I wanted to listen to, after listening to World Machine, I just put myself in the, I was like, I want to listen to more Level 42, but I don't want to listen to the same album again. So I pulled the other Level 42 album that I owned. Yeah, good stuff there. Good stuff by Level 42. Next album up is a bit of indie. This is Arcade Fire of the Suburbs. This has always been and will probably always be my favourite album by Arcade Fire. I love their early stuff. Not really a fan of their newer stuff, but definitely a massive fan of their older stuff. And yeah, this is my favourite album by them. As far as I know, I don't think I've ever preferred another album, but yeah, really good stuff here. And I remember this was a blind buy just because I knew the name Arcade Fire, and when I bought it, it hadn't been I don't think it had been reissued yet, or if it had, it was just a recent reissue. This was an original pressing, and I bought it, like I said, bought it blind because I knew Arcade Fire. Fell in love with this album straight away, so yeah, love Arcade Fire, at least their early stuff. That one's really good. And I followed that up with the Beatles, Abbey Road. This one again was a gift, a VCLT for me from way back when. This is from Jeff Kempin, who we've not heard from you in a minute. Jeff, you alright? How you doing? But yeah, this one, it has the apple missing on the back, on the purple Capitol label. Really fun album by the Beatles. Definitely my favourite Beatles album, and the only one I think I kept from my collection. Not that I owned much Beatles to begin with anyway, but when I purged my collection, this is definitely the one Beatles album I knew I was going to keep, because it's my favourite. I mean, it's got Come Together, it's got Something, it's got Here Comes the Sun, it's got Maxwell's Silver Hammer, Me and Mr. Mustard's on here. Yeah, just really fun stuff. Great album by the Beatles. And next up is one of my wife's picks. You guys know my wife Jenny. She's featured a few times on my videos. The Script, Science and Faith. This is one of her favourite albums. This is actually her vinyl, her record that she owns. I bought it for her for Christmas this past December. And yeah, because it's her favourite band, I figured, yeah, she could. And she loved it, yeah. So we spin this one quite a bit in the house, which actually this one has grown on me. I wasn't a massive fan of the Script before, but after spinning this a few times, yeah, it's definitely grown on me since. And next up we have Kendrick Lamar, another hip hop album here, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Another one that's grown on me. I wasn't a massive fan of this when it came out. I still preferred it over Damn, and I still would put it. Like, out of his 5 albums that have come out, 5 major studio albums, it would still be number 4 for me. But it's definitely grown on me and would probably move into my top 10 of 2023 or 22 was this. I don't remember. I think it was 2022 that this came out. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, 2022 would move into my top 10 of 2022 since its release. Because it wasn't before. But it definitely would be now. It's definitely grown. I hadn't listened to this since it first came out, and like I said, I wasn't massive on it, but I decided to give it another listen, and yeah, I definitely prefer it more the second time around in full than I did the first time. So happy that I did keep hold of this one, just to give it that second chance that it needed. Next up, we have Wonderland by Stevie Wonder. For those of you that have never seen this before, if you've never seen this before, this compilation basically covers Stevie's greatest hits from 1963 up till 74 and only came out in Australia. It's an Australian pressing, or Australian album actually. This, yeah, only came out in Australia. This was found in a random dig somewhere. I don't remember where anymore. Actually, no, I do remember. I think it came through my hands when I worked in the record store. I was like, I'm taking that. I've never seen it before. And like I said, greatest hits. Sometimes it's fun to just have a greatest hits when you just want to throw on an artist and listen to their best. Really, really good album by Stevie, compilation wise. Yeah. Happy that I still have that. You can see the track listing on the back there. Some really good Stevie stuff. Covers a lot of ground. And final album that I'm going to show for this video, one that me and my wife again love listening to together, but haven't listened to the album in full since it came out, and that's or not since it came out, for a while I should say. This is Tracy Chapman with her debut album from 1988. Obviously you've got Fast Car on here, that was like the big track, still is. Talk About Revolutions on here. For My Lover is probably my favourite track on this, or Baby Can I Hold You, one of those two, but I really love this album, and yeah, really absolute classic from her. So yeah, great album. Nice one to end on, I think, for this video. Yeah, so with that, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video. Really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here, because my goal for by the end of this year is to get to 400 subscribers. That would be really helpful. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye.